we gotta talk. There's a lot I would tell my 18-year-old self about making money, and the mistakes I would avoid. I would not touch it all if I was them. First thing I would do is I would not drink. I would not drink until I'm at $1 million liquid in my bank account. Yes, that hard of a rule. Because drinking, people escape their reality. They look and distract themselves with this. Because what it does is if you get drunk enough, you're gonna forget everything that happened. Especially if you can't handle your drink.
This way you don't pass out.
So don't be drinking, all right? Second thing, avoid casual sex. Nobody talks about this. Everybody gets in their feels and they're scared to say it. But all right, I don't think you should just be a nomad and not talk to women. That's weird. But you definitely should not be not treating sex as a sacred act and just being mindless with it. Just not having any idea of what's going on when you're doing that. Because nobody really knows what happens when you do these things. You're literally combining with the other person, and all of their past bodies are coming onto you, and so are yours. You don't know the consequences of that. Your mind could get messed up. I've seen little people, bro. I got PTSD from this. They have completely gained manic episodes just from partaking in this in a long enough time. Like, they literally cannot think straight. And it's sad, but that's one thing I would not touch at all. And boy, you're gonna save a lot of money. You could buy you a property with what you're spending on women, for real. Like in Dubai too, not just a little Alabama, side trash property. I'm talking about big buildings in Dubai, and that real estate is only going up. I love women. I love them, brother. I love them. But if they are gonna be a distraction to your elevation, to your success, then that is vice. That does not belong. You could come back to it when you're the man, when you've made something of yourself, and you've developed yourself in all these certain areas. So yeah, aside from that, I would choose carefully my mentors, because there are a lot of snakes in the grass. There are a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing. People that appear themselves to be the thing, but they ain't the thing. It's just that 2D screen validation that they're using to trick you and keep you in the force field to believe that they're a certain person, which they're not. You know a person by their fruits. You know a person by how they treat you. You know a person by what they do and their intentions behind what they do. You cannot read somebody and know who they are by what they post on social media. Why? What they're posting on social media is for a specific goal, and that is not what a person is. We could assume this and know this, but we will ignore it if the shiny object they're shining in front of you is good enough to make you fold, is good enough to make you compromise your values and who you are. People may have things, but you don't know how they got those things. That's the main thing. And that is what they use to get you in the trap. You know what I'm saying? The rats, they want the cheese. They get distracted by that cheese and they get caught in that trap. Avoid trash mentors. Know this, that everybody does want their piece of the pie. Everybody has greed, whether you want to admit it or not. But there's certain people that can control their greed, and there's certain people that their greed overtakes them. And they will do whatever it takes to get what they want, not holding anything back. I've had my countless stories of this, and I don't want you to go through this. Let me also touch on this. What I was saying about mentors is true. You do have to weed the snakes in the grass. But if you find the right one, now that is a completely different story. They are game changers. I remember I had one that was a stock mentor, and he's worth like at least 20 mil now. And I made a lot from his positions. Just following his strategy and investing in the right stocks paid me way more than I could ever pay him. And the same thing for Amazon. The people I learned from Amazon wise, they are one of the top sellers in the world. And I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it weren't for these two people and other countless mentors I haven't even mentioned yet. This is really the hack, because if I could pay somebody to get ahead, I'm gonna do that all day. In the beginning, I had a huge ego about it. I thought that I knew everything, and I thought that nobody else could do it better than me. Screw these people, I'm the best, right? But nah, you find that out when it's too late to find that out. And from there, you change everything. Because if I'm gonna go out my own way of doing something, it could take me 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to figure out one sentence that they're gonna tell me that's gonna shift my whole reality. It's gonna shift my whole way of thinking about things. And it's gonna let me get there a lot faster than I would on my own pace. So just off of that factor alone, you're gonna save so much money and level up so much faster if you just get plugged in with the right mentors. You don't know it all, let's admit it. Just suck it up and get the right mentors. Aside from that, I would say don't do business with your friends. I know this often gets said a lot, but why would you want to do business with your friends? Unless y'all have known each other for 8+ years, that's considered like family at that point. That's fine. But like friends, it's really just gonna get in the way of the friendship, and you could avoid so much arguments and things if you just focus on your own craft and then collaborate later, right? But if it's your first business and it's your first time around the rodeo, why would you want to get another person involved? If they're not doing things on time, there goes your future. There goes your fate. No, you don't want to put your fate in nobody's hands. It's just between you and God. That's it. Other thing I would do is I would start building my credit. Now, just because you're making a little bit of money and you think you're making that cash and you could just spend that cash, doesn't mean you need to be doing it that way. You can actually build your credit and travel for free and do all these things that your cash can't do for you. Cash is your best friend. Cash is king, right? Don't be using cash, spending it mindlessly when you could be putting that towards investments and things that could level you up. Credit is gonna be your best friend because it has all those other things and payment protection, all those things that you don't even know about, right? So I would focus on my credit, build my credit, because my credit is gonna save me in the long run. It can give me those loans, help me travel for free. It can help me buy those houses I dream of, cars, everything, right? You got good credit, opens up a lot of things for you. Aside from the credit, I would say innovate intentionally. What that means is you don't gotta reinvent the wheel. There are companies that start today, tomorrow, yesterday about water. And guess what? Water has been around for thousands of years. And the only thing they're doing to market it is spinning the angle on it, putting their own little sauce on something that's already existing and proven to work. All right, let's not use water. Let's use this microphone, for example, right? They put a spin on it. It changes colors. And I really like it, right? And you like it too, because you wouldn't be here if you ain't like it, right? Putting a spin on something that's already created is what allows you to break through, is what allows you to get some traction. Now, you could do this with a business model. You could do this with a product. You could do this by combining two things and making it one, right? Goes on and on and on. Be creative and put your own spin on it. That own spin on it is what's gonna allow it to really go into mass market, right? A very good example of this was Liquid Death. Shout out to them. So kids are insecure. They wanna be like a part of the crew. They wanna fit in, right? And if all their homies are drinking and they ain't drinking, they're gonna get clowned. So guess what this company did? They profited off of these insecure kids. They can't stand up and say, I ain't gonna drink. And they bought some drinks, made them look like a beer can, and it's really just water. And now the kid can fit in. He ain't feeling scared. And now he can enjoy the crowd setting without having to drink. Genius. And shout out to Liquid Death, man. Y'all just put a spin on it, and now it's making millions. Take that same principle and apply it to all things. Now, the next thing I would say is automate everything under $500. Man, I got so many homies and other people that have started businesses, and they're still making their own logos, writing their own copy, doing all these things that they shouldn't be doing. For example, there's a catalog of looking through 5,000 different products. Brother will sit right there, look through all the products himself, and waste so many countless hours doing something you could just hire a Filipino for $2 an hour, $3 an hour, and they'll get it all done. And they're gonna work harder than you. They want that money. They want them bonuses. You're out here wasting your precious, sweet time, the only finite resource we have, which is our time, on something that you could delegate. And your mind will be so much clearer from delegating these things and being able to work on your business instead of in it. So delegate, automate. Upwork is going to be your best friend, and Fiverr, right? These are two websites where you're able to find these people that'll really free up your time and allow you to work on the more important tasks. I want you to spend 10 to 20% of what you make and invest the other. Reinvesting back into your business or building a stock portfolio or a crypto portfolio, whatever you choose. Pick one that you really master and study. Invest your side income into there, because that will grow year over year. You don't need to be spending more than 10 to 20% of what you're making until you're at that first 100K. From there, things get a little bit easier, all right? And what I said about investing is gonna lead into what I say next. Invest in many ventures. It's written in the Bible for a reason. You don't know when something catastrophic could happen and something, just messes up your entire business. Once you're established with one source of income, start spreading yourself out to others. Now, in the beginning, of course, you don't want to do that. You want to be focused into one and get it up and working. But once you got it up and working, find multiple ways to monetize. That's something people don't talk about. So there's multiple ways to monetize your one business, and then also branch out into others that are similar, that coexist with it, and invest into many ventures. All right. What that could look like is if I'm teaching people how to be an accountant, well, I should be creating content apart from being an accountant, right? So those are two sources of income, but they all coincide because creating more content is going to give me more clients. And being a good accountant is going to give me more clients by word of mouth. So they both feed into each other. And those are two different ventures, right? Now, another thing this person could do is branch out and franchise different accounting locations and take a percentage if they staff it and fill in the people that already know how to do accounting. So those are three different businesses, three different ventures that person could do. Yeah, they could get into teaching people how to do it, launch a course on it, right? There's 4 different things. That way you're not relying on one thing. Last thing I would say is give back. I believe God, the universe, everything gives in correspondence of what you give. If you give a lot with what you're given, more will be given to you. Whatever you give, tenfold will be returned to you. And there's multiple ways of giving. Giving is not only financially. While I do encourage that, and you choose a charity of your choice, one that you know is legit, one that you know ain't laundering the money, there's different ways to give back. You could give love. You could give support to someone that needs it, right? Advice. Just find some way to give back and give back. That's the last thing I want to end off on. I hope you use these principles, you avoid these mistakes that I made, and you apply these. I kept this short and simple because I'm going to make another version of this, but I want you to apply these principles, all right? Start your business, build that dream life, and just keep going at it. It will happen.